Another big War on I-4 game coming up. Just your thoughts heading into Saturday.
It's a must-win game for us. When we played them up there, we lost by. It was a close game. We lost by 2 points. So we're just trying to get the job done. We're tired of being a team that loses against them every year. So we're trying to change it.
Last year you had great support at home for this game. How big is it? How important is it to have a big crowd for this one?
Oh, it's very important. The energy and everything that the crowd brings just helps us and help us take our game to another level.
I know the game is already big because it's a rivalry game, but is there any extra motivation considering how the last game finished up there?
Oh, yeah. Motivation because of how the last game, and we want to continue to go on a run in the conference, build wins on top of wins, so it's big.
Michael, can you talk about Maduk's impact last night? Because he was terrific and he helped you out a lot from a defensive standpoint.
His energy was big. He came with a lot of energy. Duck works hard every day. He sat out last year. He worked hard all last year. So it just showed like all the work that he puts in and the energy that he comes with every day.
You were down 18-6 about midway through the first quarter. Coach calls a 30-second timeout. Take us into that huddle. What was it?
We just had to calm down and just relax and just come into ourselves, realize what we had to get done, and cut down on some of the mistakes that we were making.
Some of the three-pointers started to fall last night, I mean, especially in that second half. Did you kind of feel like the weight was lifted off of you, that you guys were getting points in other areas again?
Not that. Like, if we get the ball into a paint, good stuff happens to us, whether it's scoring twos or threes. So once we just started doing that, threes were falling, everyone was hitting shots.
Mike, it's not just your team, but USF has had success against UCF in women's basketball lately and football lately. Do you guys appreciate just how big it would be if you kind of break that drought Saturday?
We all know how big that would be. Well, will be when we get it done. So it's just something that we really want to get done, and we're looking forward to doing it.
How big was last night's win for you guys, just confidence-wise? I know conference play had been kind of tough for you though for a couple games there.
It was very big. We played a lot of tough teams, had a lot of tough losses, so it was just good to have a good road win because that was our first road win of the conference, and so we're just trying to keep it going. But it was very big.
Coach said on the radio last night that winning at Tulane has been kind of a big thing with this program. Some of your program's biggest wins in the last 3 years have come at Tulane, especially last night. How do you feel like a win like that can help the program as a whole?
Against Tulane,
just because you guys had lost 5 straight, and kind of breaking that streak and getting back on the roll. How big was that home?
It was very big. Like you said, it's going to help us get back on the roll as a team, and we're just going to continue to win, put games together.
It seemed like it was a pretty solid second half. I mean, really solid for Q. They got it down to 5, and he kind of took over. Was that one of his better performances of late, and can he keep it going?
Yeah, he can definitely keep it going. I think he was in foul trouble the first half, so once he got back in, he just calmed down and played his game.
Michael, the news about Kobe Bryant broke during the first half of the game in Houston. Can you talk about when the team found out and just your thoughts, your remembrance of Kobe?
Well, me personally, I found out at halftime, but once I found out, I didn't believe it because it was just so unexpected. But it's very sad. The whole team was shook up about it, and it's just an unfortunate situation.
Thoughts on War on I-4 Part 2 coming up?
It's interesting how the schedule works out. We've each only played 2 games since the first one, and so not a lot of changes in either team. I thought it was a really good college basketball game. Both teams defended really well, clean, hard playing on both ends. And at the end, they made a couple big plays, and give them credit for that. I think over the last 2 weeks, we've tightened up some things, and I think we're a better team. I think we're playing better. And now you need to go out there and kind of execute both your defensive and offensive game plan for 40 minutes. Obviously, I've talked about it. It's a game that means a lot to us, and we need to go out there and play that way. And I thought we did in Game 1. I really did. But again, give them credit because they were able to make the plays down the stretch that they needed to make. So now it's our opportunity to play at home. I think we're going to have a great crowd, great excitement, and we need to go out there and play well in order to be successful.
It's also going to be your autism awareness game. That's a cause that's really close to this program. Just your thoughts on that.
Yeah, every year we pick one game, and it's national now. And with Tom Harrion on our staff, he was kind of one of the founding fathers of the Autism Awareness Week. His son Robert is a big part of our program. He is at every game. Our guys hang out with them. They text him. He texts them. He's a big part of what we do on a daily basis. And then also as one of our managers with Brandon, he's here every single day. And it's just an opportunity to increase awareness, in terms of bringing it to light that these are special young men and young women. And obviously it affects young boys more than it does girls. But I think the coaches across the country have really embraced it. And I think because of that, we're making great strides, not only in awareness, acceptance, but also additional research and additional things to make them part of our everyday lives, which they should be, and it's been great for us. It's been tremendous for our guys, no doubt about it.
Coach, you had mentioned that you felt like your team's played better since that UCF game. What specifically have you seen on the court that's impressed you?
Well, one thing like last night, you always look better when the ball goes through the basket. You know what I mean? It's the great equalizer. You can run great offense, execute really well, make good plays, but if you don't finish it either with a jump shot or a layup or a putback. But I think our guys we're moving better. We're sharing the ball. Yesterday, I thought we did a really good job of that, even in the first half when we didn't shoot as well. We got on the offensive glass, which has been a big point of emphasis for us. And I just think our guys are getting a little more comfortable and understanding what we need to do to be successful on the offensive end, and to continue on the defensive end, even if the offense isn't clicking. And then all of a sudden, when it does, a close game, we're able to extend the lead, or if we're down a couple baskets, we're able to take the lead. And I think our guys are starting to embrace that.
Coach, Madut got his first start. Guys aren't playing time in practice. What have you seen from him lately that led to that decision?
Well, one of the things we talk about in building this program is your daily habits and your daily decisions in terms of what you need to get done to become a better player, what you need to get done to impact the team in a positive way. Madut is one of the best at that. As a young player, redshirted last year due to an injury, he's steadily been increasing his impact, positive impact in practice. And we just needed to shake things up. Believe me, we didn't lose the game because of who we took out of the starting lineup or who we put in the starting lineup. We need to embrace the fact that we need everybody ready to go. Because Rayshawn Williams got banged up a little bit in that game yesterday and couldn't play in the second half. But he made a huge impact in the first half on the offensive glass. I thought Zach Dawson played his best game, in particular on the road, which is always a new challenge for young players. Unfamiliar setting, different things. But, Madut gives us great energy. He's got a knack, offensive knack, to kind of find open spots. And he has practiced better, has practiced more efficiently, and he's in the gym all the time. And in this program, that means a lot.
In the first game, I wasn't there, obviously, but it looked and sounded like a really uproarious crowd. How much did you sense that helped them, and how much can a similar outcome Saturday for you guys help?
No, yeah, it was a good crowd. Like I said, really good college atmosphere. And I'm hoping for the same thing here. I remember, last year's game was high electricity in terms of the crowd and so forth. So you want that. You want to build that, especially in a game like this. And so whenever you get a good crowd and whenever there's excitement, it obviously helps a home team. But at the same time, it's a little easier for the visitors to get fired up as well than going into a gym when there's, you can shoot a cannon through it and not hit anybody. You know what I mean? So it is important. It's part of what we're trying to build, and I expect a lot of excitement on Saturday afternoon.
Penny Hardaway kind of mentioned that after the Memphis game, saying that it was a tough place to play. I mean, you kind of take that as a compliment in what you're building?
Yeah. I'm not sure many coaches said that in the last few years. You know what I mean? And I always say, always remember I was asked a question about a particular place. Why is it so hard to play there? Because they have great players. You know what I mean? So that adds to it a little bit as well. But at the same time, having like I said, an electric crowd, a crowd that's really into it, can push you a little bit when you're making a run and can get you going a little bit if you're in a lull. And it's our job to kind of create the excitement, and it's the crowd's job to, kind of amp it up to another level.
Coach, last week, the basketball world lost two legends. First, Morgan Wooten, and then Kobe Bryant during your game against Houston. Mind sharing your thoughts on both?
Yeah, first with Coach Wooten, I was very fortunate to recruit and coach a couple players from DeMatha. They did not play for Coach Wooten. They played for his assistant that took over, but he was around a lot and did a couple clinics that he was at as well. When you talk about a coach, and you can talk about the wins and losses and all that, but the people in the profession really look at their legacy and what they left behind and the people they helped build. And no one did it better than Coach when it comes to that. No one did it better. Not just great basketball players, but the people that went through that program, both as players and assistant coaches, have dramatically and positively impacted not only college basketball, but pro basketball. He lived his life the right way in every aspect. We did not find out about the Kobe Bryant tragedy until after the game, and just numb. Is sad, not just for Kobe and his daughter, but for the other 7 people on board the helicopter in the tragic accident. We talked about it as a team, because if you think about it, it's the first time any of our players have gone through that with a figure that they grew up. I told them, you either loved them or you hated them, and you hated them because you loved them. And this is the first time they've ever been through something like that. Because growing up, you almost felt like you knew them, with the change in the coverage and different things like that. But we talked about, I asked the guys, when you think of him, what do you think of? And they talk about the passion, they talk about the work ethic, they talk about the intensity, they talk about the desire to never be satisfied with where they're at. And those are great traits to think about as a young player as well. Earlier in the year, we did a video segment with Kobe Bryant talking to the Alabama football players, and then also to Coach Saban. And we still had that on file, so we showed that again on Monday night while we were still in Houston. And it's as great of a player as he was, again, the things he taught so many people with the way he lived his life. As a father of 2 daughters, the big thing out right now is girl dad, and that's a hard, bitter pill to swallow, because he loved those daughters of his. You could see it. You could you could feel it. There's difference between seeing it and hearing it. You could feel that. And gosh, it does make you take a step back and think about, are you doing the same thing in your individual life? And the one thing I talk to the guys about too is emulate him as a player and all that stuff, but as a man as well. The impact he made in so many different areas was impressive. So it's sad, very sad.
Going back to that first game against UCF, what did you learn from some of those guys like Matt Milan, who didn't shoot well before that, and
Right.
a couple of threes, and Ingram, who might have showed you a couple different looks? What did you learn from that game?
Well, one thing I said is they were a team that was kind of in flux, kind of trying to find themselves a little bit. But they're a talented group. Milan, you don't have the career that he's had without being a very talented and hard-nosed player. I have a great deal amount of respect for DeJesus, for Ingram, for Smith, you know, and they're getting some really good contributions from other guys as well. They're a really good team. You know, they're a very, very good team that, you know, kind of got into the groove, played really well last night again, and so forth. So they're a much different team than maybe earlier in the year. I said when we played them, they had just beaten Tulane at Tulane, you know, as good a 1-4, 1-5 team as there was in the country, you know. So I think both our records don't maybe indicate the quality of the team, and it's going to be a great game.